Getting a role on Death in Paradise can often be a death sentence. The folks living on the fictional paradise of St. Marie don't tend to stick around for too long due to all the stabbings, shootings and ice pick-related deaths. But that's what makes Tune into the BBC drama about a collection of fish-out-of-water detectives fighting crime on a tropical island in their millions. During 11 seasons there have been more than 70 killings, including one of the lead characters, making it almost as deadly as Midsummer Murders. 4 different actors have played the role of the leading detective: Ben Miller, Chris Marshall, Ardal O'Hanlon and Ralph Little, who this week The Mirror exclusively revealed was leaving the show with the search for his replacement already underway. The BBC has already commissioned for a 14th run and will also return for a Christmas special this year, which is set to film over the coming months. Following the shock news about Ralph's exit, we take a look at where the former lead actors are now and why they left. Ben Miller, Richard Poole. It all began with a sweaty and red-faced Detective Inspector Richard Poole turning up on the tropical island, wearing a suit and tie. He hated living in St. Marie during the first series, but eventually started to put up with island life. But he met an untimely end at the start of Series 3 when he was murdered at a Cambridge University reunion when he threatened to expose an identity theft with an ice pick. Ben Miller decided to leave the role in 2014 because he wanted to save his relationship, and he was about to become a father. 2 weeks after I arrived in the Caribbean, Jessica found out that she was pregnant, he revealed. I've just got divorced and I've finally met somebody and now I'm on the other side of the world and we're having a baby. That's a proper curveball to be on the end of. So I knew what I had to do to get my wife back. Quit Death in Paradise. The actor rose to fame alongside Pointless host Alexander Armstrong in their comedy sketch show Armstrong and Miller. Since then H has appeared in the Johnny English films, Primeval, Doc Martin and Upstart Crow. Most recently, Ben has starred as Lord Featherington in Netflix series Bridgerton, who in Series 1 gambled all his family's money away, then won it back. Despite his pretty conclusive ending on Death in Paradise, Ben actually made a return for the 10th anniversary celebrations. The actor jumped at the chance to return to the show as he has unfinished business with the character, who appeared as a hallucination in the last series. Chris Marshall, Humphrey Goodman. My Family star Chris Marshall took over from Ben Miller at the beginning of the 3rd series. The forgetful and unorganized Humphrey Goodman loved Caribbean life and fell romantically in love with D.S. Bordy. After solving a special case in London, Di Goodman decided to stay with new love interest Martha. In real life, Marshall opted to leave the series in 2017 because of the pressure the role put on his young family. He told Radio Times that he had an agreement in place with his wife Hannah that he would only do the show for a few years. It's something my wife and I discussed 3 or 4 years ago, said Marshall. When I was first offered the job, my son was 6 months old and my wife wasn't working, so it was a very easy decision. We decided I would do Death in Paradise for a few years until it became impractical. It was always quite a finite thing. I certainly didn't hide it from anyone I work with. I'm going to miss it terribly. There have already been times when I've thought to myself, have I made the right decision? Chris revealed that his son in particular loved the lifestyle of living abroad, but he realized I really had to get my son to school. He told Lorraine Kelly he was very good on the beach, but not so good with maths and English, so I decided that it was time to get him to school. So the show had to go, really. But 6 months later, I'm standing on a film set in a car park in Dagenham thinking at 4 o'clock in the morning thinking, have I made the right decision? Ardal O'Hanlon, Jack Mooney. The third man to take over as Detective Inspector was Jack Mooney, played by Father Ted actor Ardal O'Hanlon. Di Mooney first appeared when the team traveled to England as part of a murder inquiry and was sent to St. Marie for a holiday as a temporary replacement. After 3 years, it was time for Di Mooney to move on, returning to London with daughter Siobhan instead of going off with love interest Anna. "I've spent the last 4 summers in Guadeloupe playing Di Jack Mooney, solving over 20 murder cases in my time there," announced Ardal O'Hanlon. "It's been a hugely rewarding and unforgettable experience, working with incredibly talented actors, directors, and crew while discovering a magical part of the world." Hinting that the heat may have been behind his decision to go, he added, "It's time to move on and explore other opportunities, preferably nearer the Arctic Circle." Ardal, who has appeared in Doctor Who and Skins, has also done stand-up comedy on Live at the Apollo and Michael McIntyre's Comedy Roadshow. Most recently, he appeared as Eamon in the second series of Channel 4 comedy Derry Girls and appeared on Taskmaster. It doesn't look like Di Mooney is going to be returning to the show anytime soon, as Ardal claimed he felt a real sense of closure with the series. Ralph Little, Neville Parker. The royal family star Ralph Little first appeared midway through season 9 in 2020. Neville Parker struggled a bit during his time on the island because of his several serious allergies. "It's the best job in TV," Ralph told The Mirror. "Not just in terms of location, because Guadeloupe is wonderful. But the show itself has become pretty iconic. In the space of an hour we get a puzzle and a murder which are fully resolved, along with a red herring and a couple of twists. And you've got however many main characters who all have interplaying relationships and their own foibles and challenges to overcome. If you think of pretty much every other detective show, they have at least 90 minutes to get that done. I think being part of the show is a huge treat for me and kind of an honor." This week a source told The Mirror Ralph was sadly leaving the show after nearly 5 years. One show source said, "Ralph has been brilliant in the role and he's given it a good long run. Fans are sure to be sad to see him go, but they'll also be happy for Neville." Fans were crushed at the end of last week's episode when Ralph's character departed the fictional island of St. Marie, filmed on Guadeloupe, without coming face to face with returning Detective Sergeant Florence Castle, played by Josephine Jobert.